Hello everybody, welcome to the Frog Pond. Today it is Swag Frog 4 coming to you in the EMs, I guess. And I am also joined by my good friend, Troopers on Break.
So,
Go ahead and say hi if they don't know you, which they probably do. But, just introduce yourself. You've been on the channel before, you'll be on the channel again.
Yeah, I'm Troopers on Break. I stream Swiggo, obviously, where Swag does the smart stuff and the mod and everything. I'm more the guy that just thinks ahead. So, yeah, always great to be on the channel.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely good to have the technical and the speculation, so it makes a good mix. Anyways, today we're going to go ahead and talk about some of the recent stuff that's been coming to the game. Obviously, we've got the Revenge of the Sith era coming in, and we've got a lot of new stuff bumping in with that. As well as, we're getting a slight Lord Vader rework, we're getting a Grand Moff Tarkin rework, we're getting the dark side clones, etc., etc. We got a lot of new content coming in, and so we figured today we'd talk about kind of in what order you should be farming this, when is this a priority for you, should you be farming it at all, are the era battles worth it? Lots of questions to answer today, so I figure best to just get right into it.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Yeah, so I think we should start with what's been coming into the game. So Revenge of the Sith era is here, and we have gotten more content than we were anticipating, with the era battles coming in sooner than we thought. Oppo's already in the game, and they already touched up Lord Vader's kit, which is quite interesting. So the bonuses that the online Force users provide to Lord Vader, now the dark side clones already provide to him. However, we have yet to get Grand Moff Tarkin's rework. We are still waiting for that.
Yeah.
So, but good start so far to the Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really liking a lot of the changes that they've made. Obviously, it's really nice that they've tuned up Lord Vader's kit to include these dark side clones, so it's not kind of just a random dark side ally in there. So that's really nice. It's nice that they're really fast on that. I honestly anticipate that they're just waiting a little bit to try and figure out how the clones pan out to more cater to how Grand Moff Tarkin's kit is going to work and just how the rework is going to go in that way. I assume that he's going to have some new functionality with times, but only time will tell in that respect. So I figure let's go ahead and segue into the Knightfall assault battle. So you're gonna lead us on that one.
Yeah, it's an interesting event. No cinematics, sadly.
Yeah.
I was on tier 3 for an hour and a half before I beat it.
Oh man.
And then I proceeded to spend 3 hours on tier 4 with multiple modding changes yet to get past that tier.
Yeah.
Granted, they did say that it was meant to be beaten by a full team.
Yeah.
However, it does not help when the Lord Vader they give you has 0 mods.
Not to mention he's missing an ultimate in like all of the tiers. So he doesn't get the offensive scaling that you typically expect. So like the Shock T tier can be very, very grueling because you're just sitting in there for 10 to 15 minutes doing absolutely nothing while Shock T just heals herself, cleanses, heals herself, cleanses. Not to mention she's got like 150 speed. I don't know if that's any exact number, but
700.
Is it actually?
No, because she takes back-to-back turns. So she would cleanse and then she would heal.
It's brutal. It's brutal. That Shock T tier takes a lot of effort, and then you get into the hard tiers. That's not even the hard tier. That's the second one. The hard tier is the Keller and Beck. You just have to pray to anything that Keller and Beck doesn't just immediately one-shot your Lord Vader, and then you have to go into the Jocasta new one and you have to pray there. So I'm really hoping that some of the later clones like Scorch are going to include more stuff to protect Lord Vader to keep him alive for this assault, or for this not assault battle technically, but it's this era battle. What do you feel about them dropping it early? Because they did definitely drop it early.
How I feel about it is I'm impartial. I see that they're giving a lot of people shards and access to shards, even though they unintentionally bugged it so that we're getting CX shards early. But
I'm not complaining about that one. I'm not complaining about that one. Me and my 20 CX shards are like We're chilling.
Yeah, and I know they're like, oh, we can't fix that. Oh man, I'm like, sucks to be you, but no,
Oh,
I'm impartial
no.
to it because people are getting shards and everything, but the fact that people that invested in the relics, in the Zetas already, and they were hoping to be able to beat the higher up tiers to get some of those relics, the Chirotechs,
I
the
mean, at
Gear
least
13
tier
gear.
4, like,
It,
you know?
it is sad. Like I know games where they scale the difficulty of certain events
As they
based
release.
on when a new character comes out and stuff.
Yeah.
Why couldn't they do that?
I really
Why
wish
couldn't
they'd
they
done
do that?
something like that for sure. That would have been a
Yeah.
really good move instead of what they're doing now, but like I said, the rewards are really nice, so if you do happen to have invested even a little bit into the clones, then you're already going to be getting some shards, you're going to be getting plenty of omegas, you're going to be getting a lot of credits, so the rewards are pretty substantial, as well as throughout the season, you're going to be able to eventually just build these clones essentially free to play. It's going to be very slow, but they're releasing it
It's
enough that you can build them to a decent degree, and maybe get them 7-star before it's not going to go away for
that's
good.
a
We
stretch.
do know
That's
that. We do know that it will not be going away for good. The Era Battle Knightfall is here to stay. However, we do not know how often it will be rotating back in. I don't know if they will hold that on an assault battle schedule, if they're going to release it like
no,
like a stinking journey
they said
guide.
they said it's not gonna be a normal assault battle schedule. They said it would
Exactly.
show up every once in a while.
Yeah, so it's probably going to be something like a journey guide event where, I mean, though the rewards will be very good. Like, the rewards right now at the top tiers are very good. However, it takes a lot of effort to get to them. It takes a lot
You
of
lose
effort to get to
Andy.
them.
I did a 5-hour stream on the event, and
Yeah,
I
they
only
are
beat.
they are
3.
difficult, like really hard. The
I will
recommended
say this. My final thoughts on this on the event before we segue into our next topic, and then you can give your final thoughts. Is I just wish they would have released it at the end of the episode. Like,
Yeah.
what harm would it have been to wait another 2 weeks and then make it go on for the whole week, Monday through Friday?
Yeah.
Go ahead, and then
Release
the
it the
people
same
that
amount
invest
of
in
times.
CX and Oppo get it. Go ahead.
Essentially the people who not the people, but losing my train of thought already. Wow. So release it at the end for the exact same amount of times. However, you release it at the end when all the clones are out and the era battle's actually legitimately possible.
Yeah. Not something that, even if you have a Relic 9 Oppo with both Zetas, which we've seen,
I don't think you can even clear tier 4 with that.
You can't.
It's insane.
Can't.
In fact, Arnold with the Relic 9 Oppo struggled on tier 3. He had to spend like an hour on tier 3 with the Relic 9 double Zeta Oppo.
I'm just saying, I beat it with Relic 5 double Zeta.
Yes, of course. It's possible, but it's not like Relic 9 is doing you any favors to get through it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's still just down to RNG and repetitive attempts.
And that is going to lead us into our next topic, which I'm going to let Swag take over, which is, when do you know whether or not to go for Lord Vader with all these new dark side clones coming into the game and Lord Vader obviously getting a boost in the meta? How do you know whether or not to go for this GL that went from 0 to hero?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I mean, Oppo has been shaking things up a lot for Lord Vader. Obviously, there's the Oppo bespoke cron. Everybody, all the big content creator. I mean,
I got it.
A lot of people got it, but honestly, it isn't that game changing. Like, I'm gonna be so for real. It is a very good cron, but it is not like an absolutely broken cron. And Oppo he's just a good character with Lord Vader. Even if you don't have the cron, he's still trashing stuff like JMK when he's on offense. And I think this is excellent news for us as a community, because I think that these clones are going to be very, very, very good with Lord Vader. Because if one single clone was able to make this much difference in this team, then clearly we've got a lot to look forward to. However, the question: when should you be farming Lord Vader? Now, he's a very challenging galactic legend. He's got some very challenging requirements. They're not exactly nice. Not to mention, if you're not going for these dark side clones, you will have to eventually go for them, and they're not part of his requirements. So you will have to farm something secondary from his requirements, obviously, which can be a little bit of a turnoff for a lot of people.
Well,
You have to farm
JMLS.
3 Relic 8s, you have to farm a few Relic 7s, like, it's brutal requirements. The only one that is more difficult is Ahsoka. And I think that you should be farming Lord Vader. However, I don't think you should be rushing Lord Vader or anything like that. I think Lord Vader should sit at a comfortable 3rd or 4th Galactic Legend on your roster from this point on. That way you've built the ability to get relic materials, you started doing stuff for your guild, so that you're getting more stuff out of Rote and potentially even trying Mandalore or FO. Just when you get to the point where you're comfortably getting materials and you're able to do these Relic 8s without too much of an issue, that's when you should probably start looking at going for Lord Vader at this point.
Yeah, that's a smart. See, so I'm gonna make it clear that that's the smart choice. But here's the thing, guys. I'm not smart, so I decided to go against every word that Swag just said, and I invested all my hoarded relics and everything into push for Lord Vader. And
Yeah.
I actually I'm doing it right now as we speak because I just remembered. I just got the Y-wing to 7 stars.
And let me put your account up real quick, and we'll talk about yeah. We've both taken our accounts different ways, like polar opposites.
Yeah, so Swag decided to go for Bo-Katan Mandalore, great character, all that, everything does still very viable, but
Oh yeah.
it wasn't my cup of tea. So I decided to just say, you know what? Forget everything that comes to logic, and we're gonna go for Lord Vader. And I'm gonna tell you why I did it and why you shouldn't do it. The reason why I did it is because one, I love Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. It's passion, it's my childhood, all that, everything.
Same here.
Like, I think that's very interesting. But the main reason why I also did is because my community wanted to. As content creators, we have to sort of think outside of the box and think not just about like, oh, what's this going to do for my roster, XYZ.
Yes.
We're thinking about, all right, what's best for our community? What does our community want to see?
What
How
drives
can we engage?
engagement? Yes.
Yeah, what kind of engagement does our community at this point in time? With this being a lot of people's favorite era, this is the era a lot of people that are playing in the player base grew up with. I said, you know what? This is my favorite era. A lot of people in my community said it's their favorite era. So I just decided to go all in on Lord Vader, which as of, in 2 minutes, I will be taking Arc Trooper to Relic 8, and I will be ready to unlock Lord Vader tomorrow, actually.
Tune into his stream tomorrow for that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes.
Actually,
I will be...
Technically, when we're recording this, it will be the same day. So they will have to jump on, at least not to my members, because they'll get to watch it early. If you like watching these videos and you want to watch these early, feel free to sign up for membership. Even the $3 tier gets to watch them early. So, shameless self-plug there. But yeah, feel free to check out his channel if you're watching this tomorrow, today. It's confusing, but yeah. Friday.
Friday.
We're recording this on Thursday, so
yeah. But here's the reason why I say I'm not gonna tell people to invest immediately. Are they gonna be great with Lord Vader? Yes, we've already seen it with the bespoke Datacron. We've seen it. But I have a lack of trust in CG when it comes to teams that are needed for the raid. For instance, when you look at the Gungans, they used to be a menace on defense, and they didn't jump off the cliff. They were kicked off the cliff.
It's true. Gungans got absolutely brutalized. There's so much ways to deal with Gungans right now.
Free-to-play counter.
Treya, Phoenix, BKM if you really have to, but Bo-Katan Mandalore is absolutely max
Malgus.
banners, super easy. Malgus, yeah, you've got a ton of teams that is absolutely tearing up Gungans. So definitely true. There is a very hefty caveat that something goes wrong with this. And I mean, I doubt it will be bad with Lord Vader. However, where I am more concerned is the Tarkin. So if you're farming a lot of the dark side clones, and Tarkin ends up being kind of a dud, which I don't think he will be, but I think it'll definitely elevate him quite a bit. However, there may likely still be a lot of counters. And yeah, now you rarely see Gungans. Honestly, I hardly even see them at all. Like, when people have them, they don't even use them on offense. Like, that is how bad it has gone. Because they don't any of the meat on offense, and they don't hold strong enough to any of the meaningful offensive teams. It's Trio, Bo-Katan, Phoenix, all these all-stars, they're absolutely outclassed.
No, I can't agree more. And I will play devil's advocate, or also I call it CG advocate, where you will come across the path and thought process of, oh, look, CX has a 3v3 Omicron. CG themselves said, oh, that Omicron, when we did our quote unquote testing, even though they shut down that program, but we're not going to talk about that today.
That's a story for another time.
They said that CX and Oppo are the ideal fit for Lord Vader when it comes to 3v3, especially with that Omicron. So you're going to be like, but still, you're going to have the clones. Tarkin's leading them in the raid. Yes, he is. So my thing is, if you want to go for them, you go for them now. You don't go for them, because the longer you wait, the less value and bang per buck you're going to get out of the clones.
This is true.
If you're going to farm them gradually,
start rotating in less and less.
And then and then that's less time in the raid. You got to think of it from that perspective. You're not gonna get as much time with that top tier team within the raid. You're not gonna get as much currency from that team, and you're not gonna get the most value out of it. Like people that said, "Oh, I just unlocked Gungans," I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's cool. Enjoy them in the raid for 2 months."
Yeah, and then they're kind of a dumpster team. I loved Gungans for so long. When they released, I was so happy with them. This team is up. Go farm this team, yeah. And now I'm like, I would really avoid farming Gungans until you're like 10, 11 million, and you need a B tier offensive. Like, it's that bad. So yeah, just exercise caution.
I do have one quick question, just a little update on, in case people missed it, is CG, if you guys noticed in your inbox, you may have gotten some Omicrons back, because they changed the price of the Omicrons that are for 3v3 and 5v5 from 20 to 10, which I find quite interesting. And my question for you, I know we didn't talk about this before, is what do you think that means for the game? If they're willing to do that, do you think we're going to be seeing a lot more 3v3, 5v5 specific things? Or do you think they're just trying to do a make good and everything, and we're just going to still get normal grand arenas?
See, I personally think that these Omicron, like, I look at the data a lot. I think that these Omicrons are some of the least applied Omicrons. Like, a lot of people in my guild who are like 12, 13 million GP do not have any of these applied. So they're trying to essentially drive more incentive for these less valuable, and I mean, they are genuinely less valuable Omicrons, because you only get them half of the time, which is the huge thing. So I think it's just them realizing that, oh yeah, these are not performing at all in any way, shape, or form. Let's go ahead and give them a little bit of a boost so that people actually might use them.
Well, will we still use them? Will we?
Yeah, I'll probably be applying the Afro ones in not too long.
Oh, really? Okay. I was not expecting you to say that. I apologize. I was not expecting that answer.
I'll genuinely give them a shot. I will genuinely, because some of them are good. Some of them are very good. They help with the Java counter. La-di-da. I mean, obviously, I'm working on the the focused Omicron, which will kind of negate the need for them. But hey, whatever. It can still beat Java cronless. So.
Yeah, and my one thing that I do want to add to this point, and I'll let you go, and then we'll start closing it out, is I don't like it because I fear they're trying to negate our creativity and our plug and play with us creating the meta. It's giving me flashbacks of 2021 when they started nerfing stuff and telling us what counters what. And so it may be like, oh, Lord Vader and the Darkside clones can counter GL Ahsoka in 3v3, but in 5v5, no, they can't. Right? Yeah. Like, and that's what I sort of don't like, that aspect, because they're trying to make like 3v3 and 5v5 GAC are completely different games already.
It's true.
And they're going to anchor it down more with these Omicrons, tying them down to 3v3 and 5v5. You're not getting the most out of it. And because like instead of getting it, instead of having to wait like a week or something in between the gap, you're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to wait a month and a half, in order to test out an Omicron again. Yeah. So that's what my big concern is. And I'll let you finish up that thought.
Yeah, I mean, that is a definite and legitimate concern. I feel like it could spell that we are looking at potentially more Omicrons coming into the game in general that are 3-5v5 specific, which honestly I don't as much even though they're 10, because like I said, you only get them half the time. So even though you're paying half the cost, you feel half as good. And honestly, the grand majority of them are pretty unnecessary in general. The good ones, like the good specific ones, Captain Rex. Because Captain Rex has one that is a different thing for 5v5 and a different thing for 3v3. That is nailing the idea. That is perfect.
I love it because he's not gonna be great with Phoenix in 3v3, but they give him a home.
Exactly. Right? Well, that's the thing, because Phoenix
still does.
Phoenix in 3v3 doesn't function. It doesn't work as a team with Captain Rex because he needs all these other members. You need Chopper. You need Kanan. You need Sabine. You
need Hera in the lead. Like,
obviously. Hera and Krex are kind of the two things, but it just sort of gives Krex a home in 3v3 when his team isn't necessarily viable. And that's how I think that we should be doing more of these Omicrons. I'd really like to see more of this type of stuff. I applied this Omicron so fast. It's such a good Omicron because you get really good abilities for Phoenix in 5v5, and you get really, really good abilities for clones in 3v3. And suddenly, you just have more value.
I would not be mad if they even did an Omicron where it's like, all right, in 5v5 it's with Lord Vader, 3v3, hey, this clone's gonna be with Tarkin, right? Yeah. That would be awesome.
Yeah,
that would be cool, because then you're getting the best of both worlds, and you're getting use out of that Tarkin that you already have to relic up for Lord Vader.
Yep, exactly. And I feel like
they took the wrong approach. They took the wrong approach on this. And having said that, after dogging on how they were releasing the characters for Lord Vader, I just finished Dark Trooper, and I finished that as the last requirement.
Oh, let's check.
We are Lord Vader ready. We are Lord Vader ready. So that is
here real quick. And yeah, I mean, one final note. I definitely feel like the use of 3v3, 5v5 Omicrons, like I said, it is absolutely perfect on Krex, where a team in general isn't viable in 3v3. A Grand Arena Omicron in general isn't going to be viable in 3v3 when it's a 5v5 specific team. So it is essentially like a 5v5 exclusive Omicron. Whereas with Krex, you have these things that are helping with both 5v5 and 3v3, slotting him in two different teams for these game modes. And I feel like that was really, really good. They absolutely hit the mark with that one. Sign me up. Do more of that. Do more of that.
Yeah. And my fear is with them refunding the Omicrons, I'm afraid they're not. I'm afraid with their refunding Omicrons, when CG does something good, and this will be my final thoughts on this, and then we'll talk about that one other thing, but My final thoughts on this point is whenever CG does something nice like this, I say be appreciative, but brace for impact. There's an iceberg ahead. So we're appreciative. We love this where they're reducing the cost of Omicrons. Awesome, great. We can apply more 3v3, 5v5 Omicrons like on Afra, BT, Trip, all of that. But be cautious and be aware of what is yet to come. And don't say that we're just assuming. The track record follows it.
It's true. I mean, I would be happy if it is just that positive. That would make me happy. But always gotta, I mean, just in this game in general, you always gotta be cautious. Like, you gotta be cautious with how you're farming. You gotta be cautious with where you get materials. You gotta be cautious on if you should on something new. So just in general, I mean, that's kind of the general concept of this video, is just controlled optimism. Like this, obviously, this is great. There's a job with it. Addicts and, you know, a bit more flair in the era battle. That'd been nice, but they're doing very well. They're doing very well with clones, but just hold up. Be cautious. Don't get too burned by the game, because it could happen. So just
yeah, I agree. Just take it at your own pace, and at the end of the day, most important thing is to have fun. That is the most important.
Absolutely. And if you're passionate about farming these clones, if you're passionate about farming Lord Vader, if that's what you really want to do, that's your passion, that's your passion project, do it. If that's what's going to bring you fun in this game, do it. Don't let us tell you, oh, this, that, and the other. Like, do what you want to do. Like, obviously, we're going to be here concerned about efficiency. And if you're also concerned about efficiency, you'll hear that. But if you're really concerned about, oh, this is my childhood, I really love this IP, I love these characters, them.
I couldn't put it any better like that. But do we want to talk about that one other thing, or should we save that for another video?
This one's running a little bit long, so let's just save that for.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's all good. But final thoughts on Revenge of the Sith. Great start. Love the characters. Love the content that we're getting. I wish they would have released the Knightfall a little earlier, but overall, I love how free-to-play players are getting access to shards, getting that Oppo up and running, and I'm very excited to see what is to come of this raid. And this is my final point, and this is why I really wanted to talk. If they reuse any of those images in the raid, so help me. Because remember, I'm going to give you guys a little flashback. It'll be like 20 seconds.
Oh, man.
What did they do with the Leia event? They did the speeder bike raid in the Leia event.
Yeah. And I mean, everyone knows how the speeder bike raid went. Woo!
So I'm just gonna say I am very optimistic. I'm very excited, and just CG, please give us unique cinematics and do not reuse the backgrounds.
Yes.
Swag, it's up to you. Close it out.
Yes. Final words from me. My thoughts on the era. They've done great start. Let's see the follow through. Anyways, that's about all we have to say. Thanks for listening to us ramble. If you made it to the end of the video, feel free to leave a comment. I don't know. Tell us your favorite color or food. Something like that. Just to, you know, see who made it to the end. Just out of curiosity. Pizza? That's
Pineapple.
Totally valid, bro. That's
Pineapple pizza.
Oh, valid. I don't know about the pineapple part.
It's Hawaiian.
Agree to disagree.
Swag, you guys say yours. You guys say yours if you're asking.
Agree to disagree. I mean, my favorite pizza flavor, I really like barbecue chicken or like just any sort of combo style pizza. That's my favorite pizza, but you got stuck on a face there. You were leaning back and you got stuck on a face, and it was really funny. Anyways, yeah, I mean, let's go ahead and call this one. Well, thank you everybody for coming out, showing hard, and with that, I will see you guys all in the next one.
Peace.